Yesterday, the nutritious thing came up again, not just food, but food that will meet their needs. Now, Nigeria is blessed with human and natural resources for agriculture, but the challenge is on. And the conversation started yesterday. We had amazing guests who told us what the situation is, what we can do. And today, we'll still look at it and look at more of the solutions beyond the path to food security. And this is your favorite weekend show on TV, and it is coming to you from the network service of the NTA. My name is Patience Eloy Abba, and of course, it's not looking dapper in blue and an ensemble that I'm still trying to take in because it's looking amazing.
Indeed. I just love what you're putting on today, darling. As always, really wonderful fabric. And it's a testament that you're eating well, you are cooking well. You are applying all the delectable recipes in your kitchen. And this is a testament. So we say, well done. What would a woman be without her cuisine? Our rich cuisines would be nothing if we did not have the ingredients, nutritious ingredients to prepare them. We will not have anything to serve to our family and friends and our neighbors as we're doing at this time. So for us, it's more than just a topic. For us, it's gathering the nation together in a think tank kind of fashion. And that's why our program is interactive. Share what is happening in your part of the country. Let us know, how is it with you? Because food security is not a destination, it's a lifestyle. People should be able to eat when they want to eat, and oftentimes what they want to eat, and prepare it how they want to as well. So stay with us on Weekend Deal today. My name is Thelma Obaza. Weekend Deal. This is Weekend Deal, your effervescent weekend breakfast show. Every Saturday and Sunday we're here for 2 amazing hours. With your support, we bring topical issues to the front burner. This is our weekend table, and we tackle it together with the support of expert analysts in every sphere that we'll talk about. Today is no different. We began our conversation yesterday, the path to food security in Nigeria for all of Nigerians. How have we fared? Where are we now? Our background feature today will tell us about amazing strategies that are on the front burner to take us down that path successively. Francis, how is it today?
Food security has become an issue of global concern in recent time, and Nigeria is not left out. Despite the huge investment in the agricultural sector by the current administration, there is high rising cases of hunger everywhere. There seems to be food everywhere, but not enough to eat. What is responsible for the high cost of foodstuffs in the market?
The high prices of commodities globally is as a result of the war in Ukraine, as the invasion by Russia has affected almost every commodity globally. Ukraine is one of the highest growers of most of these commodities. So that has really affected the cost of food globally, most especially in Nigeria, where we are a consuming nation. We depend so much on importation of commodities, even the ones we can grow here in Nigeria. So that has really affected the cost of production and the cost of buying of these commodities. And two, with the herdsmen and farmer clashes all over the country, the fear of farmers not returning back safe has also contributed to the shortage and the high cost of food commodities in the market.
It is often said that once upon a time, Malaysia took palm oil seedlings from Nigeria. But today, Malaysia has become the largest oil palm producer, accounting for about half of the world production. This was as a result of Malaysia's research and development program in oil palm breeding. What has happened to the palm oil industry in Nigeria?
The way and manner the agricultural sector of Nigeria is being run, people saw it as a poor man business. But in Malaysia, it is modernized. They do more of mechanized agriculture. The countries like Malaysia saw what you didn't see in agriculture, and they tapped into it. And today we're even going to seek knowledge and ideas from people who are supposed to be mastering, because they came here. We taught them these things. It was through our tutelage that they became what they are in the production of oil. But today, we are nowhere to be recognized among the highest producers of oil palm in the world, because we don't add value in Nigeria. We're just a consuming nation. We're just about after production, and no value addition. So I think the government should look at the direction of value addition, processing, storage.
Nigeria is currently the world's fourth largest producer of cocoa after Ivory Coast, Indonesia and Ghana. But it is alarming that Nigeria still imports chocolate. Where is the place of value addition?
Nigeria is the highest producer of cocoa, fourth producer of cocoa in the world, but we are not reaping any benefit. Other countries that are doing chocolates, when we take them raw, they process and bring back the chocolate and other derivatives that is in cocoa. We're only talking of chocolate, one part of it, not the whole what have you in cocoa that we are talking about. So Nigeria as a nation has not really lived up to expectation. Nigeria as a nation has not gotten it right.
Nigeria is the largest global producer of cassava, with its production accounting for 21% of global production of cassava. But Nigeria does not participate in the global processed cassava market. Attaining food sufficiency in Nigeria requires collective and urgent collaborative action amongst all stakeholders.
We can do all-season agriculture, but the problem is that most of Nigerian farmers are peasant farmers. The resources to do this things are not there, because one, you need to have water close to the farm, rather a dam, because you must do irrigation. Rather you must have a dam or a borehole, and to build a borehole for a smallholder farmers to spend close to 500,000 to do a borehole, it's not an easy task. So if the government, through the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, the work of the rural development is to develop the rural communities, the agricultural farming communities, where they have access to portable sweet water, for us to do farming all year round, access to rural electrification, for us to process and preserve what we produce at the end of the day, access to very good rural roads, so that the farmers can easily move their produce at the end of harvest.
With concerted efforts, Nigeria can achieve food security, reduce poverty and ensure a prosperous future for its citizens. Weekend Deal today is captioned, Path to Food Security in Nigeria. Weekend Deal!
Thank you so much, Francis, for always setting the tone and kickstarting our conversation. Food loss and waste contributes to food insecurity in Nigeria. I mean, every year it is said that almost about 15 million metric tons of food is wasted here in Nigeria, from the harvesting, handling after harvesting, storage and all. So much food is wasted. Let NTA Makodi carry on with this conversation.
The harvest from my dry season irrigation farming. This is fresh corn.
In Benue State, both government and private individuals have relentlessly invested in agriculture with the hope of ensuring food security for its teeming population.
The world loses 1/3 of its food to wastages. If you quantify it, it's about 931 metric tons 931 million metric tons of food is lost worldwide. That is enormous. Therefore, in Benue, to stop food wastages, we have adopted a multifaceted approach. We have used many methods. First is provision of storage facilities. The government has provided silos and then thematic storage bags so that insects do not damage the foods. These are distributed more or less free to farmers.
We are really grateful for how far it has come right now. We are even benefiting, we are eating from it, and to the extent it's now commercial, so it's really good.
In spite of efforts made to make food available, the challenge of post-harvest losses occasioned by avoidable food wastage has continued to linger on, from the farms to our homes.
The production of cassava has increased and is estimated to increase for the next 10 years. The price of garri will still be expensive. Fufu will still be expensive. And it's because 90% of what cassava people are processing are sending into the factory for ethanol, for industrial uses. So government needs to bring in a policy to determine what quantity must be sold for food and what quantity must be sold for non-food products.
Even though we have had challenges of insecurity that could have caused a lot of food insecurity in the state, but with the provisions of these inputs, farm inputs by the government, we are already overcoming the issue of food insecurity. All over the place, you will see crops growing. We are taught how to practice organic agriculture kind of, and we are doing well.
The last meeting I had, which was just last week with the First Lady, I was able to understand that industries are coming to Benue. I'm also glad that even the governor himself, he has swung into actions to make sure that this waste is no more. And also the mills that are being shut down, I also learned recently that inspections are ongoing to make sure that everything goes on well to kickstart.
It is believed that the establishment of processing industries will, to a large extent, minimize post-harvest losses so that farmers can have value for their farming endeavors and, by extension, increase profit margins.
Wow, amazing. Always very interesting to get amazing excerpts from Makodi, from Benue State. We do know that progress is being made on all levels to ensure that every citizen of not just Benue State, but every citizen of Nigeria eats nutritious meals as and at when due. Earlier, Patience was telling us how we have gone from 111 to 101, simple on 001, simple on 100, simple on 010. But that's why we're having this conversation today, to look at what are we not doing accurately or appropriately. Who are the clogs in the wheel of progress in terms of the path to food security in Nigeria? Let us reason together. Ladies and gentlemen, come on board. We invite you once again, as it's time to welcome our guests. They have joined us today to provide solutions to what we're talking about. Let me welcome the lady first. We have a gentleman here, but let me welcome the lady. She's someone I've known for quite a bit, and she's particular about nutritious meals. Her name is Jane Ayawu. She's a dietitian and a nutritionist. She's also doing subsistence farming at home.
front, that smile in the picture, that means real. I mean, there's no difference. You're welcome to Weekend Day Studios.
Thank you, lady.
Okay, so we have another guest. Tama already told you, she gave you a expo. There's a gentleman here who himself a farmer, someone who is feeding Nigerians. He is Dr. Bello Abubakar, the National President, Maize Association of Nigeria. Let's see his profile.
Lips locked on the sidewalk skyline. Giants and the catwalk step over my textile. I got 10 fingers and they painted 10 figures, your number.
Welcome to Weekend Deal, sir. It's great to have you with us here today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Though, madam, you have already shown partiality because I'm only a man among the three women. So,
no, you are taken care of.
But we can't do without you.
But I am blessed.
Yes, very well. And we can't do without
today.
you here today.
Yeah?
Yes, each person is coming with their own special expert strength.
Yes.
So we welcome you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much
so
for
much.
having me.
Yes, thank you so much. You know, earlier Patience introduced you as the national president of the Maize Farmers Association. So I know that maize is your specialty. But it's a curious thing. We just saw you, you know, one of your pictures, and you said you were in Hungary. They grow maize over there. When you went there, you brought some knowledge here. How is it manifesting in what's happening in Nigeria?
Well, I was in Hungary in 2022 for a special visit to our colleague, that is the Maize Association in Hungary, where we met with some other partners and some other companies. That farm that you saw, it is one of the private seed company that own the farm. So they are producing foundation seed and certified seed. So in our visit, we went to so many farms and their industries where they are producing the seed. So this something that is very interesting. In Hungary, you'll see a very large area of land, more than 200 kilometers. All you are walking, you'll see it is maize. Because they have already cleared the land, they provided the land to the farmers to come and produce, which at the end, the seed company will take what they have produced. And it is a government that is preparing the land for them, because land belongs to their government. Then it is just like a private partnership.
Okay, please, we are a nutritionist and a dietitian. We know that the times are very interesting. People can hardly get meals in their table. And like I read earlier, the World Food Summit to say that not just having access to food, but sufficient nutritious food that meets dietary needs and food preferences for an active life. So food must meet dietary needs. How do we, given where some people are eating once a day, how do we do it in such a way that even in that once a day we are getting some nutrition, not just eating for eating's sake? How do we get nutrition, let's say at home? What can we add to that small days and that we eat to get nutrition out of it, you know?
Yeah, actually is a huge challenge to our country today because of the economic problems we are experiencing. But there is going to be, that is one of the reasons I'm here, because the more you educate the public and let them know that nutrition information is key right now, because since there is scarcity of food, we don't have enough in the families to feed the children, to feed family members. we should now look in depth and consider the nutrients in actual sense, that what nutrients am I deriving from these available foods which are currently available, which we can afford. So I would say that in our country, Nigeria, yes, there is scarcity of food, but we also have abundant foods that can supply us with carbohydrates. Majority of our foods are rich in carbohydrates. So we might not really be deficient in carbohydrates. But for proteins, and my concerns are on the proteins and the vitamins and minerals, because as food costs are going up every day, you consider other expenses you have to do for the family before you purchase food. So while now going for your shopping, for your groceries, you have to consider that, oh, can I get adequate nutrients from what I am buying right now? What is available in the house? I don't need to repeat what is already available. Let me go for the ones that can give me nutritious meal. Then you consider it, because it's a whole lot of knowledge. You have to enlighten yourself, enlighten family members, enlighten your neighbors, colleagues, so that everybody's hand
let me just go to practical. For example, I have a bag of rice at home.
Yes.
That's what I can be eating. What can I do to make it nutritious so that I can get other nutrients? I have rice already.
Yes.
I have oil. But what can I put inside that rice to make it, nutritious?
More nutritious. Yes, we are talking about balanced eating.
Yes.
You now have a bag of rice, and you know that for it to be balanced, the rice will provide carbohydrates to you.
But you won't cook the entire bag of rice at
No,
once.
you won't do because that's where
we still help others.
Of course, that's where storage comes in, and also to help others, so that in their own turn they can also help you, because it has to be a synergy this time. So now you are considering, how do I get my protein sources, which mainly comes from our animal sources, although we can also get our proteins from most of our plant products, like beans, like granules, like all other ones. So soya beans, which is also good. So you look at it, is it easier for me to get my animal sources? Can I afford to buy it? If I can afford to buy it, no matter the portion size, what quantity I can get, that one can sustain I and my family. But if you happen to be advantaged and you have a neighbor maybe who is rearing animals beside, you can also liaise with the person. The person might have animals and don't have rice. So you give your neighbor some of your rice, and your neighbor will give you some of the animal protein.
Exactly. Nice one. This butter, informally, it is coming in nicely. I have some gallons of oil.
Yes.
Hello, have a gallon now. I don't need to say give me vegetable.
Of course.
But when you now go to your farm in your compound and you pick some
of the vegetables.
It is fully normal that you walk over to my door, knock, and hand over some spinach and ugu.
Of
That's
course.
the way it is done.
Of course, that is
what we can do. And don't call us, Don't call us. Somebody is just ringing. WhatsApp message or SMS. We read out your name. We'll tell Nigeria where you are. We'll tell them what you say. It's still okay now. How do you say it? Our break beckons. We'll take it. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
We can deal.
Okay, welcome back. It's all about the path to food security. Our guests are still here, but let's join Susan for Tasty Cuisine. How do you revamp your food? How do you make it fresh again? Susan will practically tell us. Susan, take it away.
Nigeria's rich culinary heritage, full of vibrant flavors and diverse ingredients, which offers endless possibilities for creative food revamping and recycling. Today we'll be joining our Chef Belisa Iyayi, as she takes us through the process of transforming leftover food to today's delectable meals.
So to get it started, first of all, we have to always wash our hands. So today I'm going to give you a little tip on some things you can do with your leftover rice, some of our leftover potatoes. We put the rice in the bowl, you can see. So we'll now break our eggs. seasoning here. So just have to give it taste. And another seasoning, the salt. Then the salt, a little salt more. We're adding some green beans. So we can also slice some. And when we put this on the fry pan, we fry. Then we can add some cheese if you want to, as it's getting brown. You add some cheese, you add some tomatoes, you add some chicken, some sausage, whatever you want to add. So once the thing is baked from the bottom of the pan, then it's ready as pizza. So it's just for you to dice it in the pizza. But you see now we have it all brown. Now we're going to make it. You can add some tomatoes, lettuce. You can add spread some baked beans. You know, just doing something different. Just making sure that you do not waste that rice. We have our potato. Put it in. This one is so easy and it's the fastest recipe you can do for the kids when they come back from playing or visiting an auntie. So we just have this. All our vegetables are already chopped. So we just add them into what? The potatoes. So you see everything in here mixed with. Isn't this beautiful? Isn't this colorful? We're going to add the mayo in it. Just a little spoon. Just put it in it. So what? We stir. Eat this all day. See? So we just squeeze the lemon into it. Then we now what? We turn it into the bowl. You can do this for your birthdays, for your family visit, you know, just something fast that everybody can just fry some chicken with some pepper sauce aside, and then you serve this in their bowl. This is a full meal. Then you add your baked beans just to garnish it. And this is it. Voila!
I wish I could finish everything because the taste is awesome. We hope today's segment has provided you with a valuable insight. Let's continue to embrace this practice for a healthier and a more sustainable future. Stay tuned as we return back to the Weekend Day studio for the continuation. It's bye from here.
Watching Susan, and I got a bit hungry. Not a bit hungry, really hungry. I mean, how they could revamp that Irish potato to make it look like that is something I'm still thinking about. Thank God we have a nutritionist in the house. And I'm going to be asking her, is that food really nutritious? I mean, after having stayed for some days and all that.
Of course, it is.
Okay, you add
it's
all
just
that.
leftover
But how should
food.
we even preserve the rice in the first place?
You can
so can we
use it again. Let's say you cook today and it still is. How do you preserve it?
By refrigerating it
Okay,
or by
good.
freezing it. You can do that.
Okay.
You now bring out and put in microwave or you let it thaw?
Yeah, you can reheat it on your oven, or even the microwave can be used, because the campaign against the microwave is for people who use it in cooking. But you can reheat with the microwave.
Reheating is good.
That is
yes,
that's
it's just
good
within a
information.
short period of time. So that is what
okay,
it
that's
is. So,
safe.
so it's still safe. The carbohydrate content of the rice is still intact.
Okay.
It has not evaporated. So now what she just did is to revamp it, to now make it more nutritious. Even you can see the colorful, beautiful, nutritious.
I mean the colors.
Yes, the vegetables.
Susan.
Yeah, where you can now get
make it more attractive.
make it
And
more
attractive.
want
The
to
children have to see it. It now appears to be like a pizza.
Like
you can say this is mommy's pizza.
That's
a way of
so you as the mom must oil your words. Oil it for their daddy too. Oil for the children. To make it attractive in word and in look as well. Nice one. Nice one.
Yes.
We have some messages. Thank you, Nigerians, for reaching out to us. Someone is saying here, hello NTA, nice way. I like this path. All Nigerians should be on this path. His name is Edgar Lucky Obeli from Lathia, Nasarawa State. He says, can our dietitian say something about the caption on her shirt? Set salt target now. Also, to the president of the Maize Association, I want to start maize farming, and it's for a commercial purpose. I want to make money out of it. Let me just take two together and then so that you can address them. Okay. Someone also says that Dr. Bello Abubakar, it is good now that I'm seeing that there's a maize association and a president as well. How come we're hearing about grants being given for rice farmers, cassava farmers, but there's little known about grants or loans for maize farmers? So can we tackle that?
Okay.
We did tell you not to call us. It would be nice to listen, okay? So that you can learn from what our analysts are sharing today.
Okay. Myself? Okay. Well, thank you very much. Let me start with the first speaker, Sender, who said that you want to start commercial maize farming, which is very good. And this is what we want now. We are already in this system, because you cannot say that it is government only can do or can give support for the farming activities, especially in maize production, because maize is a well commercialized product, and it is a very big business that if you are into it, you will gain a lot. So because of that, we are now making an arrangement of PPPPP, private partnership, which means private is not a public-private partnership.
Private
Partnership.
That's under private. Okay.
Yes,
okay.
That is the other investors who is a private sector that will come and invest to give their own contribution. Then the farmer, then the associations. Association will coordinate between the farmers and other stakeholders, especially the input suppliers or service providers. Service providers in terms of mechanization, extension services, monitoring and evaluation, insurance, all are under the services, while the other partners can give their own from the input, right from the seed up to the end, whatever the input is required. So then the farmer will now give his land and also to provide the other logistics. Other logistics.
How far gone is that plan? Is that already established?
It was already established, because we started in 2022. We did this because we even in 2023 last year we launched it in Katsina, and it is giving a very good result, because the input suppliers, the service providers, the partners, they are marketing their products, they are making profit.
Which is very important.
Very important. And the farmer will be supported. If you want to cultivate 10 hectares, if you get the input from the other partners to support you with another 10 hectares, you can cultivate 20 hectares. If you are cultivating 100 hectares, then you can cultivate maybe 150 to 200 hectares.
This is mechanized farming, isn't it?
Yeah. Once you are a large-scale farmer, you must go into mechanized farming. That is why we even introduce mechanization process. As far as this program is concerned, is fully mechanized end to end. So if you want to join, or if you want to start this commercial, we are already into this program, and he's welcome, and we are ready to coordinate and attach him with the partners that can support him. No need to wait for the government, because it's not everything that we say will leave to the government to do it for us, especially in business, in farming activities. Government can give their support in terms of giving some inputs or subsidy from the inputs, or even or a loan that has a minimum rate of interest. That's the only thing the government can. But as a commercial farmer who can cultivate 100 hectares above, so there is a need for this arrangement of PPP. That's why we are into this program from 2022 to date.
Okay.
Very interesting.
All right, very interesting. I'll still come back to you. Number one, you do know that maize is a staple food on our tables in Nigeria. Maize is stable. We use it for so many things. My first question will be, what are the challenges you're facing right now? Because we don't know.
But can she talk? Somebody asked her a question.
The second question.
Yes. Can she answer? Can she? Let's hear about the salt. The salt man, you've been calling us. Please don't call. So he sent the message again.
Oh my
God.
God.
Please, can he hear about the salt? So just give us like 3 minutes, please. Let her respond. You know we're here because of you.
Yes, of course. Yes, I am a dietitian, a nutritionist, and I am in the business of a healthy living. And for one to live healthily, there are different components. Today we are talking about food security. We are talking about healthy living. Some of the programs that will come in for could be the lifestyle. So this is another campaign for setting a target for salt. Because in the recent time, statistics have shown that excessive intake of salt and sodium has predisposed us to a lot of chronic diseases, which things like hypertension, heart diseases, in fact, it's cancers and related to diabetes, it somehow is interwoven. So because of that, we are now coming to give awareness to the public that let's now set a target for our salt, because it is expected that we consume less than 2 grams of salt in a day. But I know a lot of people will say, how am I going to know 2 grams of salt? What does that, how can I interpret that? 2 grams of salt, a teaspoon can contain 5 grams of salt. It means that a teaspoon, yes, a teaspoon, not the big spoon, contains 5 grams of salt. So less than 2 grams means it's almost like half. It's even less than that. So that's what you are supposed to consume in a day.
That's one person.
Yes, one person, not even in a meal.
Doctor, let's go back to that question where I asked what is the challenges confronting maize farming in Nigeria? And I also want to ask that your association, are you synergizing with farmers maize farmers in every part of Nigeria, be they in the Niger Delta, the East, everywhere? Are you coordinating? Are you properly coordinated? And what is the challenge you're facing in making sure that every home in Nigeria has maize in the house, because we need it?
Well, we are well coordinated.
Okay.
Because in Maize Association of Nigeria, we have covered all the 36 states of the Federation. When I became the president of Maize Association of Nigeria in 2017, some part of this country are not into maize farming. But what I did is that let us have a mobilization and sensitization about the importance of maize farming in Nigeria. Then from there, we now set structures and selected some farmers that we know that they are real farmers, but they are not into maize farming.
Okay.
And then we, in collaboration with some of our research institutes that I said we have a relationship with them, we now formed a committee. That is a technical committee in which they mobilized their farmers. So from there, they now embraced the maize farming, which they now we engaged them in most of our activities. They participated. So from there, like south and southeast. In southeast, it was only around that Enugu area that were cultivating maize before. But coming to 2021, we have covered all the states in the south and southeast. I'm telling you presently now, each and every state, we have structure and we have farmers that are under Maize Association of Nigeria, and they are doing well. And when they produce, some of them, we have already linked them up with off-takers that can uptake it as how it is, because you know, because of the humidity in that area, the maize cannot dry. So there are some companies that they have
facilities
for
to
dry
them.
Yes, so they used to take it directly from them. So that is why now I thank God, I am proud that all these states are producing maize, and it is under during my regime that I extended this maize production into the southern part of this country.
Okay,
and they are doing well.
Good one.
Mr. President, well done.
Well
Well
done.
done.
Well, we need to go to Abakaliki now. We'll come back. We'll continue the talk about maize. Well done. Earlier we mentioned gardening in the home, you know, and we had our dietitian tell us that when you garden, perhaps you're doing spinach or vegetables, you can share with your neighbor, and he or she in turn can share what they are gardening with you. As we go to Abakaliki now, we'll get to know how they will nourish our conversation with what's happening over there. Please take it away.
The global economic plants as a gardeners in your home for home consumptions are, you have your vegetable, you have your water leaf. This is our freshly cultivated vegetable. You have your pea plants, you have your water leaf, as I mentioned, your bitter leaf, your cucumber. You also have your ugbogoro leaf here. You have your local beans. All these are just our local vegetables that we can just plant in our backyard without stressing ourselves to go to the market. As you can see, I have planted this to make it easy for me and my family to consume. My vegetable, as you see like this now, I can use it to prepare my vegetable soup, my edikaikon soup, any varieties of soup that is fast for consumption without stressing myself to the market. And also it eases me that stress.
I encourage everybody to do this because where I live, I am doing it. I am doing backyard farming in my own house because all these things we are crying, no food, poverty, high cost of living, all this. If we do something, there's something my son did behind my house there. The small boy planted corn. He just went, the corn the mother bought to use and do pap. He took some and put it in the soil there. The thing germinated, and if he was just nurturing it, and he's waiting to harvest it. So nature has made it that anything we put inside the soil will come up and give us a yield.
In addition to ensuring the availability of these items for family consumption, gardening has become one of the formidable sources of income for many people. And even with it, I can actually go to the market and sell and also make my own money from it.
I don't need to go to the market. As you can see, I have corn, I have vegetables, ugu is here, there's potato here also. With the economy now, I don't need to go to the market. We eat fresh fruits, we eat fresh vegetables. Me and my children, we don't go to market. Things are expensive. So I encourage everybody to have his or her own garden.
Over time, I've been doing this without any regret. I practice mixed cropping here. This is my cassava farm. This is my yam, maize, and others. I've never regretted I did it because all this while I've been doing it with positive result and positive yield.
Home garden is actually the way to go, and it just takes me back. Each time I go to Makodi, my daddy, he told will step out, and before you know it, he has arranged for corn to be roasted, and that corn tastes sweeter than any corn I eat. Daddy, how do you do it? Home garden is actually the way to go. So, Doctor, you're going to be telling us about, you're still going to respond to the challenges of confronting maize farmers.
Well, you know, whatever you are doing, there must be some challenges. One of the major challenges that we are facing into our maize production, you know, this issue of insecurity is one of the major problems that we are facing, especially in an area where they are producing maize. Major states that are producing maize, Kaduna, Niger, and some part of Katsina, that is the southern Katsina and Zamfara. So this is one of the major challenges, because security, a farmer has to get an adequate security for him to have a confidence on what he's doing in his farm, to be sure that he's safe and whatever he cultivates is safe. So that is one of the major challenges. Though that we know that the government, they are doing their best to tackle these problems. We know that. Then the second issue, there is also this issue of fall armyworm. It is a worm that is destroying the maize farm. If a one single armyworm in a night, it can produce over 100,000 eggs in a one night, and they will separate. That's why whenever they enter into a farm, they can scatter it, they can destroy it within 2-3 days, no matter how large the farm it is.
How do you prevent it? What are preventive measures?
Yes, there is, and but it is a major factor. It is a major problem. It's a challenge. It's a real because challenge. But even myself personally, I have faced this challenge even this year. Oh. Yes, of course. So there is some chemicals that are controlling the fall armyworm. Now, with this Pyramids of Agriculture Male Association, and also there is another institution, Harvest Plus. They are also into this
chemicals.
Into this support of the
farmers.
The support to the farmers. So that is another area of challenge. Then the next one, there is also a natural disaster, which you cannot, because
like
we don't have
floods and climate
because
change.
like what happened recently, there was a drought, massive drought. There is a farm that we saw in Taraba, and if you saw before, it was green, very nice. Beautiful. But when there was a drought, about 37 to 40 days, there was no rain. The maize dry, the rice dry everywhere. You will see a very
flourishing farm,
big farm,
devastated.
Yes, of course. And then you can see that most of these farmers, there is one of them that when he went to the farm, he just fainted. He was collapsed. He was taken to the hospital.
Oh my God.
And somebody was even crying. Seriously.
Because of the loss.
Because of the loss. You see, so that is also a challenge. And then sometimes flood. If you go to Jigawa, if you look at even Jigawa, this last week, part of Bauchi, Kano, and Kebbi, there is a flood. And this is something that is happening every year.
But I was going to say something about the drought thing. It's going to be something that might, because it's nature, we don't have any, we can't control nature per se, but we can do some irrigation.
Artificial, yes.
Yes, we should be thinking of irrigation, because so that losses like this are devastating.
Part of the subsidy that we can get a remedy on this, so that we can bridge the gap of what we have lost, is to go into dry season farming.
Yeah.
But that one, there must be a support from the government.
Let's go to Cross River State, Calabar. Our sister are stationed there. They've done some research. Please share what you found.
Vegetables preservation ensures a steady supply throughout the year and guarantees food security for our growing population. What are the traditional and modern methods of vegetable preservation?
1. Drying. By drying, we get the harvest, then we do some limited processing on the final product, then sun. We sun dry for an extensive time, and that is dependent on the kind of vegetable. Canning requires an industrial process, that what is harvested is processed and canned and kept in the shelf. But we still have the other kind again, fermenting. Fermenting requires, mostly is for living vegetable, whereby what is in need is the content, not necessarily the fruit or the leaf, but they want to get the extract. So they also have the prickling that has to do with a mini processing, whereby you get the vegetable, you light process them, do some kind of seasoning on it, then preserve it at a temperature that will consistently preserve the content.
It is not advisable you preserve any dirty thing. So what I do, I get a clean water, put all my capsicum inside. Then I also have my strainer here and another basin so that I can wash them, put in the strainer to take off the excess water in it. Then after that, I'll turn it into my clean bowl. I have my clean film over here. What I do is I'll just cover it. Then I can preserve this now. I put them in my chiller, which I use 4 degrees Celsius in preserving them so that it won't get spoiled fast and it will still maintain a good texture.
When washing, draining, and drying our vegetables for preservation, one can easily say the nutrients are washed off. Here is what an expert has to say.
The truth is that some vitamins will be lost, some minerals will be lost, but a substantial amount of those micronutrients are retained during drying. Some things that could have antagonized the nutrients are reduced to very low level. But the few disadvantages is that sometimes there are changes in the sensory attributes of the food. Talk of the texture does not remain the same. The food color does not remain the same. The taste may not actually remain the same. But that is variety for you. Talk of the calorie content, it remains the same. Fiber remains the same.
Apart from preserving vegetables for daily consumption, it is established that there are some other benefits attached. This preservation is a game changer for local farmers at a time when it is supposed to be off-season.
Farmers who are committed to it and produce at a commercial level feed themselves, turn their livelihood.
Vegetables preservation is not just a necessity, but a responsibility. Let's join hands, work together to build a sustainable food chain system, support local farmers, and ensure a healthier, more prosperous future for our tomorrow by trying a hand too on preservation. A stitch in time serves 9.
Great to always have your company on our show. Thank you for being part and parcel of this topical issue at this time, where we've been talking since yesterday about the path to food security in Nigeria. And thank you for your messages. You are asking questions because you want to know how you can contribute to nation building.
Yeah.
A country that is well fed is a country on the path to amazing progress. We all realize that. Dr. Bello realizes that, as does Jane. That's why they are here, bringing their expert knowledge and energy to this topic today. People are asking. They know that there's conflict and climate change and natural disasters, but a farmer who is ready to feed the nation has energy and wants to know more. For example, are there places in Bono, Adamawa, Yobe, where we can synergize and work together with associations so that we can save these places where there's lack of food? They also mentioned Katsina, Sokoto, Kaduna, Benue, and Niger. They say farmers are willing to do more, but we need to know about the association at state and local government level so we can key in to know what is working in those areas. I made like 5 responses together, so
Okay.
please share.
Okay. As I have said earlier, that we covered all the 36 states of the Federation. We have our structure, our chapters already there. So in each state we have a state chairman who is the coordinator that can coordinate at the state level. And we have our zonal coordinators at the zonal level. So for these people that are looking for our content or they want to key in, really they are welcome. This is what we want. This is one of the most important thing in doing this program. We must produce.
Yes. Yes.
We must produce food
to
save our nation.
Yes.
We have the farmers, large-scale farmers. We have the investors even outside the country that are ready and willing to come and invest in Nigeria.
Good one.
So, but the major issue is to get the support of the government.
Okay.
Therefore, we need their support to come in. This PPP we are doing, private, let it be public-private partnership, so that the government can provide maybe the land from their own side or land preparation to clear the land for the farmers, for these investors, because we have the off-takers already.
Okay.
So this is a major thing that I want to say above all.
Thank you.
And just that in need of my contact, there is no problem, and then you can share it with them, because we are very free. We are operating the whole country, and we welcome everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. It's our hope that we can cultivate a world where everyone goes to bed with a full stomach.
Yes.
That's our focus.
And, because we know the importance of feeding and food for a nation, it's no wonder that our president declared a state of emergency, and our first lady is saying, have your gardens, and you might even be rewarded. Let's get our hands dirty to feed our nation.
Good one. We say bye-bye here.
Bye.
God bless our great country, Nigeria. We are always better together.
Yeah.
Hope renewed.